Alright guys, how's it going? It's the end of another week. So that Jacob's Maya is done. We just finished it yesterday. I have decided for the rest of the scheduling of the videos, I'm going to release them twice a day until we get done with them. There are 11 in total. So starting tomorrow, one will release at noon Central Standard Time. One of them will release at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I want that little gap there just so there's like a couple hours in case anyone actually like ingests the whole VOD in that time. So yeah, that's done. The last video should be up by Tuesday with the current schedule, and it is Reddit time. Never change, Borderlands. Ye scurvy dogs. Scurvy is caused by a vitamin C deficiency. You can counteract it by drinking orange juice every so often. Don't say video games never taught you anything. Yeah, I love whenever they do stuff like this. Honestly, like any game that does this, I just think it's a great little interaction to have. Like, on one side, yeah, it's just a funny little thing, but also they're like kind of teaching you something, so like, it is fun. I don't know, just random quips like this are enjoyable. How long did it take you to figure out that EXP loader is supposed to be exploder? Way too long. Honestly, for the longest amount of time, because I used to play games like Diablo or like RuneScape or games with really shorthand terms, I thought the EXP was just experience. So I thought maybe they like give you a little bit extra just because they're annoying to deal with. So I'm ashamed to say that it probably took me a good 100 hours or so before I realized what it really was. It's good though, and it is funny. Borderlands 2 players be like, this is literally worthless. Honestly, yeah, this is really weird that we have this problem. So the reason that a lot of people get upset by this is probably just because we, as like people who make YouTube videos and stuff, just always show the best of the best roles of literally everything and how they work. Nobody like ever is just like, yeah, this is just random trash gear I threw together, because like why would you do that when you could like just save edit the character or release like I farmed bunker 1,000 times and this is what happened kind of videos instead, and then get your 94% sham that way. But yeah, no, this is literally like, this is so useful. The next best absorb shield can get like what, 56% absorb, something like that. It's the sponge in Torg DLC from the Sarah vendor. I mean, it can also spawn with elemental immunity, like a damage over time effect immunity, which is really nice. But like, if you just want the raw rocket jumping and like absorption, then sham is better. But yeah, it is weird that we did this. I don't know why we still do. It's perfectly serviceable. It's literally just 1% off. Did you know that the pistol named Infinity shoots in an infinity pattern? Yes. Do I need to make a video about this idea? Because this applies to several different weapons. They have different patterns. Like the Lasco, if I can just pull that up real quick. It is actually in the pattern of a bull or a buffalo whenever you shoot it. Let's see, the gun of the bulls, yeah. So it has this flavored text about bulls, it shoots in the shape of a bull. I could go on and do this with just about any other gun that has a unique pattern and like show off the unique patterns, but I didn't really think that was necessary anymore because a lot of people just kind of stumble upon it themselves. But yeah, it is neat. You can't kill Wilhelm. Okay. So this is just a really good melee kill here. This person went all the way over to Pirate DLC. They got their rapier. They got slag on Wilhelm. They got the insta backstab kill. This is all really nice. But I kind of wanted to explain that in lore, and they don't include this because they thought it would make players feel bad essentially, Wilhelm is supposed to be poisoned during this fight, and that's why he's considered weaker during the fight. So yeah, that's just a weird little plot thing where Handsome Jack wanted you to get the core, and so he poisoned Wilhelm to give you the core. It's really weird, because yeah, it would make the player feel bad if they knew that he was poisoned the entire time, but it's also like a neat little feature and storytelling device that they could have used if they wanted to. Tesla piano. Yep. You can shoot this piano to stack anarchy. And probably like Rising Shot and other if shot then cooldown or stack thing. It's really weird. But, I mean, like, if you're a Gauge main and you don't want to go to Iridium Blight and use that box for some reason, even though it's literally the fastest, or faster than this at least, you could use this too. What was this room supposed to be, besides having loot? It goes hard, though. You know, honestly, I kind of agree. I wish that this room had some overall, like, use or purpose, because it looks so cool. Like, you got the cages, you got the little, like, altar kind of thing right here. It looks like this is something. And the fact that there's, like, no elaboration behind it, and I think it's supposed to be, like, I don't know, this is probably Bloodshot art? I think it's Bloodshots. It, like, this, it looks like it should be something, and I really wish there was a quest here, like some murder quest, or, like, some find the cultist that moved out here from Frostburn, or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. You get, like, a cult-themed gun, besides, like, the Firehawk shield, of course. There's something a little darker, something more like that. It would be cool. 5 years ago this happened. Looks like a good thing, but ever since then I've been shooting every pile in hopes for another. Alright, let me guess. Legendary? Yeah, legendary. It's an Impaler, level 15. Why are you in Snowman DLC at level 15? Oh wait, oh, I think I know what happened. They probably opened the DLC at level 15 on accident and then tried to leave and then come back at 26, but it already locked in at 15, so they just don't get to have level 26 stuff. And you should probably give up on the DLC from here. But it is kind of like, maybe I should check stuff every time you get a world drop. But I never end up checking stuff anyway, though. My dog knocked over my controller. It hit the ground so hard, I guess it broke my Salvador. So you're telling me that your dog caused you to do the zoom in while playing Salvador bug? Sure, why not? Yeah, this is the thing. I don't remember the exact inputs that you have to do to force it to zoom in with your right hand, but you could probably find it pretty easily with a Google search or something, YouTube search. It's really cool. It's kind of useful for like 1 or 2 kills. Like if you're doing an infinity money shot kill, you can use this for it. But honestly, that's about all the function it really has for that. Yeah. Why is the lower level better than the higher level mod? I can tell you, but it's weird. So from a statistical standpoint, you would think that like higher level, better comm, but for some reason class mods have like grades added to them. So there are like minor stat checks that it does whenever it's looking at the class mod itself, and that variability in grade can actually change the stats on the comm. It's weird. I don't know, like, it probably would have been easier for them to just program, like, flat stats on a comm, but I think there was, like, an interest in having people feel like they can get better stuff regardless of where they are and what they're doing. So yeah, I think that's probably why they left it like this, just so people could, like, get upgrades no matter what. It's weird. Tier list of how good / fun all unique pistols are to use, alright? I'm gonna get on this. Right, so you guys might not be able to see that. I'll just keep it zoomed out a little bit. Let's see here. Yeah, so for S tier, Maggie, I mean, I can kind of agree Maggie's pretty good. Gunnerang, that's good for like Axton Tediore kills, or like Krieg maybe. The Fibber feels really cheap, but I understand why it's up here. It's so strong. Lady Fist is really cheap, but it's also up here because it's so strong. The Hornet, I can kind of agree, it's fun on Axton. The Ruby, I can kind of agree, it's like the Grog without the annoying, like, fire rate slow sometimes. Teapot, it's okay. Farming it on purpose takes like a decade, though. I wouldn't really want to do this on purpose, unless I really had to. The Law, I mean, it's good. It's melee. If you're playing like a melee 0 or a Krieg early and you wanted to have melee capacity, it's really nice for that. I don't know if I would put it in A. It'd probably be like a B tier for me. The Veritas, I mean, it's just a flat off pistol. It could probably go in like C tier. The little Eevee, it has a cooldown effect attached to it, to where if you kill a mob, you get cooldown on your action skill, which you can actually stack like the Morning Star to get instant action skill cooldown on a kill. It's probably fine where it is, like B tier, maybe like lower into B tier, maybe high C tier for me personally. Pocket Rocket is like, it exists, you know, like that's how I feel about it. It's literally just a torque pistol. It could probably go in like low C tier for me personally. Gwyn's head, it's really strong and you find it in a box, so that could definitely get bumped up a little bit. I'm not even sure what this pistol is right here though. What are you? Oh, you're the judge. Okay, so you are dropped from 1E. It's just a Jacobs revolver, probably like C tier once again. The Gub, probably also a C tier gun in my opinion. If you're playing somebody who can like stack fire rate and gun damage buffs, it's probably good for that. Wanderlust, this deserves to be in like D or E tier. I don't know why they put E. Honestly, most people just skip E and go F just because it's like the grading scale that most people have. But yeah, the Wanderlust fires slow, it doesn't do good damage, and it's kind of just a joke. The Logan's gun in C tier makes sense to me. It has like okay damage question mark, but it's mainly just used to stack rocket ammo with like an absorb shield, so I understand why it's here. It's not good for damage, but it's a great utility item. The Rex is in C tier. It should be in like D or E. Once again, it fires ungodly slow. It's not deserving of this spot. It should be right next to the Unforgiven down here because they have the exact same fire rate and like both have pretty trash DPS overall. The Greed, yeah, it's fine where it is. I agree. It's alright. It's not like incredible. Thunderball Fist, most people won't end up using this. You end up getting better stuff. It could be fun, so I could see why it's in C tier though, so that's fair. The Stalker, question mark, it's alright. It's a Vladov pistol basically, so like it's fine where it is, I guess. The Dominator is trash. I have tried to use the Dominator in normal mode based on Brady Games' guide to Borderlands 2, and it was terrible. This deserves to be an E or F tier, guaranteed. The Infection, probably E tier as well. It's like, it's just a corrode pistol with a high dot but low base damage. That's about all there is to it. The Stinger, probably D or C tier. It doesn't really do anything special besides like the reflection and all that stuff. The Grog could probably be a B tier in terms of like fun and utility use because it's just too good. Like, I understand you put it down here as like an actual gun to shoot things with, but if you view it entirely as a tool instead of a weapon, you could put it in A or B tier, I would say. Tinderbox, it's sure E tier probably. I mean, it's just kind of like, it exists. The Infinity Pistol should be in like C tier or B tier. Like, it's good. I know people overuse it and overhype it and talk about it too much, but its DPS is fine. It's totally okay how it is. I respect it as a pistol. It could go higher. It could definitely go higher. And then the Devastator, D tier. I mean, it's just a Torgue pistol with Two Fang built into it, or like Shadow Relic, whichever one you look at it as, really. It's okay. It's just a Torgue pistol. I mean, it's better than this, for sure. The Pocket Rocket is not good. It's definitely better than that. It's not great, though. You have to kill Master G to get it, so it's kind of like, eh. But it doesn't deserve E tier, I don't think. And then F tier with the Unforgiven, yeah. Fire slow, bad DPS, you have to get it from like a world drop or binary or somewhere like that, so it's not worth the investment in time. So yeah, that's about how I think about this as a tier list. Oh god, there's more. Is it the same person? No, it's a different person. Oh no. Okay, I'm not gonna do all of these. Hopefully not anyway. So let's have our zoom out here. Okay, Sandhawk in S tier, makes sense for damage. A tier, Babymaker, yeah, throwing it is good. Avenger, good DPS on Axton or Krieg, understandable. The Slaga, probably A tier, higher up than the Avenger for me personally. The Tatler is okay. It could probably drop down a layer or two, honestly, though, because like it's just an SMG, but that's it really. It's just an elemental Slago. That's it. The Florentine does not deserve to be very high. I think it could be in C tier, like, or D tier probably. The Lasco, I could probably bump it up personally to A tier. You can get it for free. It has incredible DPS. The bitch, it exists, you know, so like it's fine in B tier where it is. This one I forget the name of. Hold on, let me zoom in. Why is it like 5 resolution? You know, it's this one. It's the one nobody uses. Commerce? No, it's not the Commerce. The Commerce is probably down there. Whatever. You know, Pirate DLC vendor, it always rolls like one element. It's okay. The Orc is in C tier. Yeah, that's fair. The effect is really easy to abuse, and one-lifers love to abuse it, but they don't want you to abuse the Grog, which I still have questions about. The Yellow Jacket is next to it. It's horrible to use, but its effect is neat, so sure, it can stay there. It might go into D tier just because it's not really useful. Hellfire can stay where it is, that's fair. Bone Shredder can stay where it is, I think that's fair too. The crit could go lower because the chance to drop it randomly is super annoying unless you want to look at it as a free drop reload if you're playing controller, but I wouldn't do that. And then the good and the bad touch right here, I probably agree with. You could probably bump them higher if you're doing like a Maliwan Allegiance or an SMG Allegiance and you just wanted to like have some healing, but I see why it's here. The Commerce could go higher, probably like C tier, replace the Yellow Jacket with that, just switch them around. The Chulane is exactly where it belongs. It has a chance to slag you, so it kind of just is weird to use. The Emperor is just a doll SMG that shoots a little more. Its DPS is comparable to other doll SMGs that can shoot less, so it's okay, I guess. I'd rather have a Lasco, honestly. And then the Bane is exactly where it is because it deserves to be exactly where it is. It slows you down. It's annoying. Everybody already knows what it is. I don't need to explain it. Alright, what's next? Oh god, it's shotguns. Alright, so let's go. Interfacer, yeah. Conference call, yeah. Orphan Maker, makes sense. The Flacker, yeah, makes sense. The Tidal Wave, B tier. The Heartbreaker, yeah, it's good. The Butcher, I agree. The Retcher, why? It could probably go in like C tier for me personally in terms of DPS. Maybe as a throwing weapon it's better, but I don't play Axton or Krieg, so I don't know. The Slow Hand is okay if you wanted to do like certain builds, I guess. I'd probably put it in C tier personally. Sword Explosion, good B tier, I agree. The Pirate DLC shotgun that I forget the name of is good, so it deserves to be in B tier. I kind of agree with that, maybe even C tier. The Striker, I could probably agree it's B tier. I've been using it for the Jacob's Maya. It's alright. The Sledge's shotgun, good C tier. The Rock Salt and the Dog next to each other makes sense. The Hydra and the Triquetra next to each other makes sense to me. The Blockhead, yeah, it's a C tier. It's really fun though. The Tidal Wave, it's alright. Probably like, yeah, it's fine where it is. The Carnage, maybe a higher C tier, honestly, because I know some Krieg players who who can just make good work with this. Deliverance should be lower. I mean, it's fun if you can like throw it at Bunker and get a boar kill with it, because that's hilarious. The Octo could probably be bumped up a little bit, maybe like the end of C tier. It can do decent damage and its pattern is neat to look at. The Teeth of Terra, good. It's alright. You can use it for like pimp shotgun, so you can like use the damage of the rocket launcher onto the shotgun, which is kind of interesting. The 1340 shotgun, yeah, it can probably stay here. Maybe D tier, because it's fun to listen to. The Landscape is weird. The Landscaper is weird. And I might have switched up the Retro with the other one, but honestly, both of the E-Tech Seraph Tedior shotguns could probably just stay near D tier. Yeah, so that for shotguns. Alright, rocket launchers. Let's go. Norfleet S tier, kind of agree, hard to get, good damage. Creamer A tier makes sense to me. The Bada Boom could probably go to S tier, honestly, for better damage. It doesn't have the AoE that the Norfleet has, but its DPS is insane. The Ahab should go in B tier or C tier. Let's be honest, have you ever tried to use it for damage? It doesn't work. I mean, it does, but it just doesn't work as well as other rocket launchers, you know? Like the 12 pounder or the Nukem or the Roaster. They can all kill stuff better, like just outright, if you use them for damage. So I honestly put the Ahab in like C tier, move the Roaster up to like B tier. I agree with the Hive being here, so that covers these, honestly. The Mongol, probably C tier is fine for it. It's really weird. You can use it for Mongol jumping if you know how, or if you just don't want to use a Bada Boom for some reason, I guess. The Pyrophobia is okay. I understand why it's in D tier though. The Tunguska is like garbage. I mean, it's just a worse Nukem realistically to me. And then the Bunny honestly could go in like D or C tier. If you ever played an Axton or a Krieg and thrown one, it can do fine. The bounce is annoying, everybody hates rubberized stuff, but like it can do fine. Alright, pistols. Oh yeah, they forgot the Unkempt Herald. Yeah, sure, that's fine where it is. Alright, assault rifles. We've got the Leadstorm. I agree. With Money Shot, it's pretty funny. The Kitten, yeah, that's fine. The Hail could probably go in B tier for me personally. It's got weird damage. The Rapier is good. If you're a 0, you probably put it in S tier because, my god, that damage is ridiculous. The Ogre being where it is makes sense to me. The Curb Blaster being where it is could probably go to like C tier. I don't see the Peak Opener on here, so that could be bumped up. Okay, yeah, it's excluding Commander Lilith DLC. So yeah, with the Peak Opener existing now, I'd put it where the Curb Blaster is, maybe even higher, like A tier. Move the Curb Blaster down to like C tier. The Sawbar, weird pick for B tier, probably C tier for me. Bearcat, I've seen Kriegs use it, but I'd bump it down to C tier. The Hammer Buster could go in D tier. The Thompson could probably go in A or B tier for me. The Varuk could probably go a little bit lower personally for myself. The Shred-a-Fire is fine where it is. The Chopper should go lower because besides the joke, it's not useful. The Becca could go higher because it's actually like good DPS and it's fun with the B shield or just any shield really. The Boom Puppy is okay. I mean, it's not great. D tier is fine for it. Scorpio, probably go E tier. The Seraphim and the Seeker, they could stay where they are. The Stink Pot could probably go like C or D tier. And then these two, I forget their names. They're probably like D tier, realistically. The Evil Smasher used to be funny for glitch, but now it's useless. So yeah, unfortunately, probably F tier. Maybe like D tier, just because it's a better gun than the Chopper in terms of like actual usage. And then the Madhouse is probably fine where it is. Maybe a Gauge main or two would question my life choices for saying that, because whenever it reflects, it does have multiple pellets. But I don't see it as very useful. Alright. Sniper Rifles. Pimpernel, makes sense. Lyuda, makes sense. Morningstar, outside of the bug, I hate it. Put it in D tier. The Trespasser, fine where it is. Put the Amigo Sincero in A tier or S tier, honestly. The Volcano, sure, it's a C tier. The Cherami, also probably C tier. The Skullmasher could go in B tier or A tier. Realistically, with its damage, it's nicer. Pitchfork could probably go in B tier, because if you have a B shield and your name is 0, you can make great use of it. The Storm should go in E tier because it doesn't actually do great damage. The zoom really far into enemies that you get from Wreath, the Assassin Sniper Rifle, whatever its name is, I forget because it's not useful. It could probably go in E tier because that zoom is just never useful. The Buffalo and the Elephant Gun could probably stay in like D tier. They do okay damage, but like you are using a sniper, so not having a scope is weird. The Cobra is D tier, maybe E tier, because its damage isn't actually that great. Hawkeye could probably go in like C tier. If you can get far enough away, it does actually have okay damage. The longbow, probably like C tier or D tier. You can make good use of it if you actually have the skills to buff it properly. It does great chunk damage. The oh god, whatever its name is, the other sniper that's like the Hawkeye but worse and harder to get, that could probably stay where it is. The Sloth could probably stay where it is. The Patriot is just a Vladoff sniper with less accuracy. And then the Invader could probably go up to like D tier because it's alright. It can do damage. Alright, are we free? We're free. That's all the tier lists. Cool. Alright. Well, after all those tier lists, I think we are done for the day. So guys, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. Once again, the Jacobs videos are coming up pretty soon. They'll all be up by Tuesday. We're on like what, day 5 or 6 has been posted, so there's like 5 more that'll come up. And if you like the video, I appreciate it if you like it. If you have any ideas, leave a comment. If you have been watching videos and you haven't subscribed, maybe subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And that's it. Have a nice day. See you later.